release your hand to your knee, palms to face up, and observe your thoughts. Bring your hands to your heart and bow down as a symbol of gratitude. Inhale to circle your arms up. Exhale, side bend over towards the right. Stay grounded in your sit bones and stay grounded in your thoughts. Draw your left shoulder back and look up. Inhale to come back to center and exhale, other side. Reach your right fingertips as far over to the left as possible. Inhale back to center and exhale, hands behind your back. Inhale to lift your pelvis up off of the earth, releasing through the hip flexors. Lower your sit bones down. Straight legs come wide. Take a few breaths here before we move on to a side bend. Inhale your arms up and side bend over towards the left. Your left hand can be down onto the earth. Your left forearm can be down on the earth. Find whatever variation feels best in your body today. And remember not to overdo it. Allow the stretch to happen gradually. On an inhale, come back up to center and exhale to switch sides. Side bending over towards the right. And finding that beautiful balance of effort and ease, strength and grace. And don't forget to breathe. Inhale to come upright and exhale to fold in the middle. Hands underneath your shoulders or walk your hands away. Find your tabletop with your right leg extended. Clock your left shin over to 9 o'clock and stack your shoulders in your hips. Invite in some big back strokes with your right arm. Option to continue with the back strokes, or if you'd like to reach for your right foot. If you have the foot, kick away and enjoy the expansiveness created in your chest and your right quadricep. Come back to your side plank variation and use your core to lift your torso upright and side bend over towards the right for gate pose. Inhale to windmill your arms down and pivot into a three-legged table with your right leg extended. Stay here or extend your left arm for bird dog. Stay in bird dog or reach for the outside of your right foot with your left hand. Kick away, gaze stays down, and draw your right knee into the midline of your body. Slowly release, coming back to our three-legged table. From here, moving into three-legged dog. So lift off of your left knee, open out through your hip, make circles with your right knee in one direction and then the other. Level out through the hips and step your right foot in between your thumbs, coming onto your fingertips. Left knee stays lifted, left heel is high. Straighten out through both legs, coming into a long pyramid pose. Hips are square, spine is long. Stay elevated like me, or feel free to fold over your right leg. Plant your palms down onto the earth, bend into the right leg, and shoot the leg back for three-legged dog, opening out through the hip once again, and then finding your downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet one by one, bend your knees a lot, and then slow roll plank, come forward. Lower your hips, maybe your knees, look up, and then tuck your toes, move through table back to downward facing dog. Come high on your toes, slow roll plank, lower your hips, maybe your knees, untuck your toes, look up. Send your hips high, downward facing dog, nice and slow. Shoulders over wrists. Lower your hips, lower your knees. Nice loose cobra pose. And then come back to a tabletop position and extend through the left leg. Clock your right shin over to 3 o'clock and peel open for our side plank variation, stacking our hips and our shoulders. Invite in those same back strokes on your left shoulder and keep that left heel grounded. Continue with the back strokes, or if you'd like to reach for your back ankle or foot, kick away, opening out through the quadricep, the chest, the shoulder, and then whenever you're ready, unwind. Use your core to come upright and find your gate pose on the other side. Right shoulder moves back. Right hip stays stacked over the right knee. Windmill your arms down and come to a 3-legged table with your left leg lifted. Reach your right arm high for bird dog with the option to reach for your left foot. Keep your gaze down, shoulders and hips square to the earth. Release back to your bird dog, and then find your 3-legged dog, tucking your right toes, sending your left knee high, making circles if it feels good on the hip. And then gently stepping your left foot in between your thumbs, coming into a lunge. Propping yourself up on your fingertips, and then whenever you're ready, elongate through both legs, squaring off through the hips. Keep your torso elevated or begin to fold over your left leg. Come back into the lunge and shoot your left leg back and open out through the hip once again. Return to downward facing dog and slow roll plank, shoulders over wrists. Lower down, chaturanga. Press up, plank. Chaturanga, plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Child's pose. Observe your thoughts. Reconnect with your breath. Slowly return to downward facing dog. We'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat. If you're working on your floats or maybe your handstand pops, you can practice a few of those now. Once you've completed your journey towards the top of the mat, create space by lifting your spine halfway up and then folding over your bent legs. Slowly begin to root down, to rise up, circling your arms overhead and lower your palms down to your heart. Take a full inhale and open mouth exhale here. Interlace your hands behind your back, bend your knees a lot, and hinge in forward fold. Knuckles move towards the front of the room, and your head just dangles. Release your fingertips towards the earth, find a halfway lift, and then step or float back into your chaturanga. Find your upward facing dog or cobra variation, and then press yourself back to a child's pose. Nice and easy. Observe your thoughts, reconnect with your breath, and slowly come into a tabletop and journey towards downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, toes to face down, and step your right foot in between your hands. Rise up for a high lunge, high on the back heel. Cactus through your arms, lift up through your chest. Reach your fingertips high, coming back to your high lunge, and then open out to warrior two, heel to arch alignment. Straighten out through your front leg, reach forward and tip. Trikonasana or triangle pose. Squeeze your heels together as you come up and reverse your triangle. Left hand to your calf or thigh. Bend back into the right knee. Find your extended side angle variation. Stay with your elbow on your thigh or reach for a bind. Stay with a bent leg or straighten out for a bound Trikonasana variation, keeping your gaze up, spine nice and long. Bend back into the knee, release the bind, and open towards the left for star pose, toes out, heels in. Lower into goddess and cactus your arms. Extend your arms and legs for star. Goddess squat. Star pose. Windmill your arms down and find your skandasana with your right leg bent, hands to your heart. Transition to the back of your mat, bending into your left knee for skandasana. Option to find the bind behind the left knee if you'd like, peeling open and gazing up towards the sky. Release the bind and crawl towards the front of the mat, framing out the foot and pivoting on the back heel. Find your three-legged dog and move through a vinyasa if you would like. Option for chin stand or ekapada, or skip it all together. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up behind you and step your foot in between your hands. Rise up for high lunge. Cactus through your arms, back bend. Keep your tail tucked. Fingertips high, high lunge. Open out, warrior two. Straighten out through your front leg. Reach forward and tip for Trikonasana. Allow your spine to come upright and then tip back for reverse triangle. Extended side angle, elbow to knee, or find the bind behind you. If you found the bind, rotate your heart up towards the sky. Maybe you even straighten out through your left leg for bound triangle. Bend back into the knee, release and come up to your star pose. Find your goddess squat. Hi. Star pose, everything extends. Goddess squat. Star pose, preparing for wide-legged forward fold. Feet are parallel. Begin to hinge at the hips and fold forward. Lift up through your kneecaps to activate through your quadriceps and feel a nice stretch in the back line of your body. Skandasana, left leg bends towards the front of the mat, hands to heart or the earth. Transition to the back of your mat, finding Skandasana once again, maybe inviting in a bind, looking up towards the sky. Release and crawl towards the front of your mat. Step back and move through a vinyasa, finding chin stand, ekapada, or skip it all together. We'll meet in downward facing dog. We'll close our session together standing at the top of the mat. Find your way there however you would like, maybe working through another float or a pop, but please don't rush. Whenever you find your feet planted at the top, find a halfway lift, and then one last fold. Come to stand, circle your arms up, and then lower your palms to your heart, thanking yourself for taking the time to step on your mat today.